Generals, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Company of Heroes to the Western Front Armies. We are the General Gentlemen. I am TheMachine.
And I am Archon Hawk.
Here we have a bit of a sneak peek at a 1v1 multiplayer match here. Bit of a special occasion because this is myself, TheMachine, as the OberKommandoWest on the northern side of Lagaze Breakout.
And you will be facing off today against, down the bottom here, as our US forces. That's going to be BreakingBrad. Yes, we get the pun. It's fantastic.
One of the developers of Company Heroes 2. So we're able to work with Relic to get some cool games with the devs, and it's a pretty fun opportunity. So now we'll be having a quick look at the cast. We'll be doing a bit of explanation as to the units and whatnot, but really just sort of covering the game as it progresses. So let's quickly sort of go through the factions as briefly and concisely as we can. OberKommandoWest, another German faction, of course, is essentially the Battle of the Bulge side of things, and that is a poor capping. I'm sorry, don't judge me, Archon.
I blame you, Machine. I see you capping. I see you capping there. You can need that resource.
Anyway, so sort of the play style for OberKommandoWest is they generally have very cost-effective units, but it's sort of at the trade-off for having a handicapped income. They get 66% of the income, so if we swap over to BreakingBrad, we'll see he gets more. That's standard, that's the same as Soviet and Wehrmacht. They also have the ability to deploy forward bases. Their teching system is sort of as you would expect. You build more buildings, but you actually deploy them on a truck onto the forward of the map if you so desire. And not only does it actually give you more buildings, more units, it also gives you certain benefits. So for example, there's the medic truck, which will give you a forward healing point, and only the only healing point. You don't actually heal from your HQ. One weakness that can suck. And also you can get a forward reinforce point and a retreat point if you actually upgrade it. And so forth. As for the US, do you want to quickly run over that?
Yeah, so the US have a bit of again, different teching structure, which is cool. It's cool to have some differences there. So instead, they already have all their buildings. They've got them all there ready to go. So in teching, they actually upgrade squad. So they get a squad when they tech up. So you've got your lieutenant, your captain, and your major. So you actually get a squad when you tech to the next level, and that, of course, unlocks the different tanks and AT and MGs and such that you can actually successfully get. We've got our first engagement here, though. The Strum Pioneers against the Riflemen, calling that 2v1.
Strum Pioneers are very elite engineers. They have the SCG-44s, which is what the P-Grens have. So they're sort of like P-Grens in some regards, but they're a little bit different. But still very powerful up close, but are quite weak. So you want to avoid fighting off against Riflemen over long range, especially wanting to avoid the 2v1. Another squad of Sturm Pioneers here, followed up by the Volksgrens. Volksgrens are your basic rifle infantry, similar to Grenadiers, but not quite as strong, and then they are 5-mans. So it's a really good synergy when you have Sturm Pioneers up close and Volksgreniers on the range. This is the Kubelwagen. Kubelwagen is the MG42 sort of replacement. It's a suppression vehicle. It's actually quite slow, which you wouldn't expect. So when you compare it to like the Soviet or the German scout, the Wehrmacht scout car, but it is able to deploy and set up. When it stays still for about a second, it gets that little suppression icon. Sturm Pioneers pretty powerful. We'll try and chase down the Riflemen to inflict as many casualties as possible.
Kubelwagen, a nice little MG on wheels. Kind of like a meal on wheels, but considerably better.
With more bullets.
It gives suppression, a lot more bullets, considerable amount more. So Assault Engineers there as well, coming out from BreakingBrad. One of the advantages of going for, is that the Armor Company?
Armor Company.
Yeah, Armor Company is going to be the lock-in here.
It actually has the same sort of 3 starting commanders as Co-1, but they are rather different. Assault Engineers, they're close range infantry, as you would expect. They have the M3 grease guns, the same as what the engineers in Co-1 had. They also can upgrade with flamers, which is kind of cool because you don't get flamers normally on the base faction. So this is the truck deploying into the battle group headquarters. That is the forward heal and reinforce point. But whilst it's actually deploying, the trucks are very vulnerable. Rear echelon, not very good in combat, but it's actually taking the battle group headquarters down lower and lower. Volksgrens, though, will prevent the decap and duel with the rear echelon very effectively.
Yeah, because the building does not, in fact, stop the decap. And as you were saying, the Metro can take some considerable damage. That forward battle group headquarters, while it's deploying, takes a lot of damage. When it's set up, it does a but look here, I mean, there wasn't a lot of damage put down to it, but look how low the battle group headquarters has gone.
Especially
so
with the rifleman as well.
When you set it up.
Kubelwagen is suppressing down the rifleman, an excellent flank as well with the Sturm Pioneers. It's really good synergy having the suppress and the Sturm Pioneers moving in. It's also good keeping them together because then the Kubelwagen can be repaired by the Sturm Pioneers, and it's actually pretty important because they are very, very weak, weaker than your M3 or your 222. So having the nearby repair is actually pretty important. So BreakingBrad really wants to take out the med truck, but he isn't quite able to with small arms. Not now that it's being fully completed. He will need bazookas or an AT gun or just some sort of explosive damage to take it out. Probably shouldn't be there though. Just getting a bit of damage inflicted onto his rifleman.
Yeah, a little bit unnecessary. Some ideas. Find them on retreat as well. Nice aggressive movement here from the Volsgrens. Nate is going to the building there. Was a little bit dodged though, and that's actually the lieutenant coming out here. Low rifleman squad. Just gets out.
Yeah, that wall saving that squad. So Sturm Pioneers, yeah, they're very brutal on close and on retreat points. Lieutenant will mean that BreakingBrad is now on his tier 2. So that will give him access to a couple of things. Mainly the utility car is fantastic. Utility car, it's sort of like a scout car, but it has a lot more health. Armor, rather. When you upgrade it with the armored skirts, it gets a lot of health. Armor, again. So it doesn't get taken out by small arms very effectively, and it has a nice 50 cal MG. Will be very, very good against the Kubelwagen.
Kubelwagen just gets out in time. Can take some considerable damage from those rifles. And look at the M20, he's going to go on the chase here. Kubelwagen's got to be careful. You're keeping on the roads there, Machine. I like the fact you're trying to keep on the roads.
Yeah.
M20 is still on the chase, though. Does juke into the fence, so the Kubelwagen may be okay. So much juking is needed here, because the M20 will take it out in pretty much one volley.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're keeping that alive. It's still alive.
M20 is the excellent counter against the Kubelwagen. Really, it's the reverse moving on the road that's keeping the Kubelwagen alive. M20 not able to chase as well as it should be able to. Keep sort of duking out, so possibly not the best control by BreakingBrad, but the Kubelwagen will escape. Nice. And really, the objective that I had here, I wanted to get within range of the flak emplacements, because the flak emplacements are actually pretty powerful against the utility car. It will force it away. It will kill it, but it will take a while, so the utility car won't really be able to dive in deep. 50 cal MG as well, picked up from BreakingBrad. As you would expect, it is a suppression weapon. Pretty powerful. Sturm Pioneers in the garrison is going to be really great against that, but M20 will force away the Sturm Pioneers. Yeah, we'll probably force them off with that one. The Riflemen have got to be careful though. They're working for the decap. Going to go into the garrison, so it should be safe. And the Sturm Pioneers catch out the 50 cal. That's very, very nice. 50 cal going a little bit too deep there. Got to be careful you don't lose that one. Really want to set it up in a position where you can get the suppression. Yeah, but this utility car really is giving so much power to BreakingBrad. Because at the moment, I don't have any AT. And there are a couple options that you can do for OberKommandoWest in terms of your anti-tank. The first thing you can get is the Raketenwerfer from your HQ. So it's relatively cheap. It's available from the get-go, but it's not quite as powerful as the Zis or the Pack. It doesn't quite have as much range. So it's a bit harder to use, especially against very fast and mobile vehicles. So I tend to not use it against utility cars. Against slower tanks, it's a bit better, but one of the strengths of the Raketenwerfer is it can actually put inside of garrisons, which is kind of cool. It's got a Panzer Fusilier, see there, Machine, as well. Oh, indeed, yes, Panzer Fusiliers. I was looking for them. Yeah. Panzer Fusiliers are commander-specific. They're a six-man squad, good at long range, but especially when they get upgraded to the G43s. This was actually a pretty bold move on my part, going for the G43s. Cost 90 munitions, which is actually what you need to get the Shrek on your Volksgrenadiers. Another really strong anti-tank method, which is probably the better way against the utility car. But the reason why I didn't go for the Shreks is because I'm actually saving up for my Puma. Yeah, so should be getting that fairly soon. That's a nice way to do with the utility car. This is just a massive fighter. Oh, actually, soldiers may get caught out here. G43s, and that's how many G43s? 6 G43s. 6 G43s. Some serious damage output. This is a massive fight over the battle group headquarters, which is very, very nice here for BreakingBrad. You want to try and deny that because that's all the reinforcing and healing is going to be coming from. You've actually changed your retreat point, haven't you, to the battle group headquarters now. It costs 300 manpower to unlock the retreat point, but you can toggle it. So you can have somewhere a bit closer, but if it's sort of being surrounded and engaged, you can toggle it off. And this we actually have one of the fun mechanics of the US forces. They can evacuate from their vehicles, and the vehicle crews can fight without it, which in the case of the M20 is pretty strong because they have a bazooka. not any of the other vehicle crews, or only the M20. It's also good for transferring veterancy, hopping back in. Sturm Pioneers, they had to close the gap to force off the bazooka. Will get shredded now by the utility car, but it was necessary to delay the bazooka from killing my battle group headquarters, because if that goes down, I'm going to be in a bit of trouble, because I won't have any heal, and you can see how much I need the heal. Look at my Sturm Pioneers, they're very wounded, but that is the Puma. The Puma is the excellent unit against the utility car, very, very powerful against it.
But he's not backing off.
Utility car also being evacuated, wanting to get the bazooka, and that's a good way of dealing with the Puma. But Puma is going to just force fire down and destroy the abandoned utility car and then drive away. Ambulance was actually destroyed as well, but the Puma gets the wipe alongside the Grenadiers. They threw a grenade, the Volksgrens. Their nades are very powerful, so that contributed to wiping that assault engineer squad.
Yeah, Puma's actually also going to take out one of those fighting positions there. One of the nice things for those, I forgot the name, rear echelon troops, isn't it? So rear echelon troops can build that, and when they actually garrison it themselves, they get that rifle nade as well. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's really good against garrisons. Say if you're playing on a map like Samoski, having that anti-garrison is actually really strong, because it doesn't cost any fuel to unlock, where generally you have to unlock grenades for riflemen, and you don't get flamers unless you, of course, have engineers. Puma getting a little bit bold here, driving into the bazooka rear echelon, was recaptured by the crew. Puma needs to back away. One of the bazooka may even take it out. The Pumas have the long range. Battle Group Headquarters is desperately being repaired. Kubelwagen has the suppression need be.
Yeah, Sturm Pioneers doing the best they can to repair that one, and we'll probably force off this Bob here. I don't really want to run into that Kubelwagen if it's already set up and ready to go with the suppression. Can be a little bit dangerous despite the damage it does take from rifles.
Yeah, Sturm Pioneers getting shredded, having to back away. Bars on the lieutenant gives it a lot of extra damage. Sturm Pioneer barely survived, but the Kubelwagen will start to suppress straight away, but gotta be careful of the bazooka. We'll take it down quite low. It actually missed, but that's the second squad of Panzer Fusiliers, and they're gonna be really great with their long range damage, but really the battle is waging on for my battle group headquarters.
He really wants your battle group headquarters like hardcore, so it'd be nice if you had an AT gun or something like that, some way of supporting. It does have the bazooka there. Gotta be careful with those rear echelon troops though. They're the ones with the bazookas, and they're so low, we'll have to force the retreat. Now there's no bazookas there, but the captain is there and he's got a bazooka. Yeah,
that's exactly what you want. At this stage, really the best thing here is an AT gun. The M1 AT guns are actually pretty good against the battle group headquarters and really all of the trucks, especially because later on, OberKommandoWest can get their Panzer headquarters, which is their tier 4 structure, but it also comes equipped with like a flat cannon defensive cannon, which is really, really powerful. But the AT gun will outrange it. That's the same for the ZIS. But bazookas, they're okay, but with only one of them, it will take quite some time. But at this stage, he has a lot of infantry, so it's going to be very effective against it, and my infantry can't heal. You can't heal from the HQ. You can use the Sturm Pioneers Veterancy 1 ability, medical supplies. It places down 3 little medical supplies that will heal 3 squads. But it's very expensive. Munitions is, again, it's a bit of a struggle for OberKommandoWest with that handicapped resource, and also the fact that I don't have a lot of territory.
Yeah, and here we can actually see the highlighting of the different strengths of those US Force tanking systems. So the differences between the lieutenant and the captain. Captain gets a bazooka. I think he's got a Thompson as well, doesn't he? So a little bit better at range against vehicles and such. But the lieutenant here, obviously much better against infantry, has that bar. So a little bit more utility there. So.
Puma was actually repairing from the Mechanized Regiment headquarters. This one will have some repairing pioneers. Getting a bit low though, because of the AT grenade from Rifleman at Vet 1 is pretty good against vehicles, but the main gun now isn't too good. Panzer Fusiliers flanking behind with the G43s, getting within the garrison. Kubelwagen is suppressing the squads here, while Sturm Pioneer is moving in for the close range damage. Takes a bazooka shot, the Kubelwagen will survive and forces the retreats. Battle Group Headquarters survives and gets a wipe on the lieutenant. The Puma up that close is pretty powerful with his main gun, has a high accuracy, and that is the AT gun that we finally see from taking up to the tier 3, but a little bit too late to the party, not able to take out the Battle Group Headquarters and may even get wiped by the Sturm Pioneers.
I think the M1's going to go down. Yeah, it does. So one AT gun down here for BreakingBrad. Not exactly what you want. Again, those G43s on the Panzer Fusiliers, very, very powerful. Really nice map control still from BreakingBrad. He's been forcing you back for a lot of this game. Yeah, very, very aggressive play, but unfortunately couldn't quite manage to push through and destroy it. Would have been able to again with some more earlier AT, but it definitely pushed me back. Finally, I'm able to start capping out the map, which I desperately need. Not a lot of fuel, but this is actually one of my favorite strategies to do as the OberKommandoWest. I love the Breakthrough Tactics Commander because of the Panzer Fusiliers are just really great. And the Storm Officer, but also what it synergizes quite well with is on the Mechanized Regiment headquarters. One of the unique mechanics to OberKommandoWest
is you can actually divert munitions income into fuel and vice versa. So currently I'm doing that into munitions transfer. This is what I'm doing to give me actually pretty good munitions income, but at the exchange for having very, very little fuel income. So the reason why I'm doing this is not only to give me my G43 upgrades quicker than I would generally get them, but also so I can throw my grenades, because the grenades for OberKommandoWest are very, very powerful, but they're expensive, 30 munitions. And again, bear in mind there's less income for OberKommandoWest for munitions and fuel, so it can be pretty expensive. But with the munitions income, I don't have to worry. I have a lot of it that I can just throw away, pun intended.
Yeah, indeed, and there's a really, really nice flank as well from those strong pioneers. They're getting in nice and close while the Volksgrens do tank up the damage, but again, that's fantastic MG placement here. The 50 cal is going to get the suppression and will force off those squads.
Yeah, this MG really paying salary. Vet 2 on 12 kills, so doing pretty good suppression. Basically, that's the ideal engagement. You want to have the Volksgrenadiers soaking up damage while Storm Pioneers deal up close. But that's an M10. That's a Doctrine-specific Wolverine. That's the call-in. A very good tank destroyer. It's pretty cheap and pretty disposable, but it will be good at dealing with the Puma if it gets within close. The Puma has the range advantage. The M10 is just a bit more strong overall. So the Puma is going to have to back away, stay at long range. AT gun not able to get within the firing arc. Kublavagen
Massive engage here. Kublavagen does get caught out by the AT gun, but the M10 is going to be going after the Puma now. Puma is a little bit caught out, doesn't really have the range advantage, no. But the bait into the Panzer Fusiliers. You're going to get the AT nade.
Panzer Fusiliers will slow down the engine, and on the road, the Puma has the extra movement speed, allowing it to back away, escaping, and this is the range it needs. Doesn't quite hit the shot there, but the M10 turning around for the Panzer Fusiliers, and the Puma claims the killing blow. Meanwhile, we do have the infantry support gun, some long-range mortar/howitzer hybrid. Pretty good long-range damage. AT gun's a little bit out of position here. We'll have to waddle away, but the Volksgrenadiers won't be happy about that one and will decrew them by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like one of them at least is going to go down here. Two members, it may survive. Jigs into the other AT gun. That's unfortunate. And both actually end up falling here.
Yeah, so that's an excellent situation for me to be in, to have two AT guns, because all I have now is the one Puma. If that Puma was destroyed by the M10, which it definitely would have done had it not been for that Panzer Fusilier bait into the AT gun grenade, then the Wolverine would have killed the Puma. We'll heal up now from that tier 3 structure, but yeah, because I've gone for the munitions transfer, it means I wouldn't have a lot of fuel, but now I've changed it. Now that I'm happy with my my munitions income, because I'm getting my second G43. So I've got two G43s on my squads, and they're expensive, 90 munitions. I have a fair bit left for nades and stuff, but now what my concern is, I want to get more AT. So I'm going to get another Puma, I think. I can afford it, going for the fuel income.
Yeah, should be able to pretty shortly.
Yeah.
80 fuel, yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, though, we do see some pretty good capping here from BreakingBrad. Doesn't have any bars, which is one of the upgrades. Oh, he does actually got bars in the rifleman squad. Yeah. Yeah. So how it works with the Americans is they unlock the bazooka or the bars from the HQ. It's like a little fuel and munitions investment. And then basically you walk up to the weapon crate and you grab it on your squads. It costs you munitions for each weapon. So it means you can really customize your rifleman squads. You can have, so one squad with double bars, one squad with double bazookas, and sort of have them their own specialists, or you can kind of combine them, make them more multi-purpose, one bar, one bazooka for each squad.
Plus their dispensers, which is just ultimate kinds of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty
just
cool.
Like, it's just like, oh, thank you, bazooka or bar, etc. So that is definitely quite nice. We actually have the rear echelon troops with that bazooka. He's going to be taking the garrison there, so be careful. That's actually back away from this one. That's going to be nice.
It's a really good move, because it's going to mean that my Puma is backing away. I can't stay around with the bazooka firing through the window, but it was already repaired, so it won't be a huge deal. But now the Browning 50 cal suppressing this Doom Pioneer, will it suppress the Panzer Fusiliers?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they will actually force it off though. The MG's taking a fair bit of damage as well. Will it get decrewed? It's Veteran C3. Don't want to do that. The nade will go in. And goodbye MG, going to be fooling there. So the rear echelon will probably get forced off here. I think your Puma's off to the side, so you can't actually, I don't think there's a window that can fire actually at the Puma.
Oh, there must be.
There must be a window somewhere.
I don't know what's going on here, but
Bazooka's duking out.
Yeah, there we go. See, bazookas are pretty powerful against the Pumas.
Definitely.
Pumas are essentially a tank destroyer.
Oh, that's not a good coloured smoke, is it?
No, that's the bad smoke. We don't like that coloured smoke. That is the 240mm howitzer barrage, and it claims the Puma. It's similar to the railway strike, but it lasts longer, it costs more expensive. Rear Echelon will have to back away, but through the Sturm Officer and the Panzer Fusiliers, not exactly the ideal retreat path, but Panzer Fusiliers aren't the best chasers. That's really what you want to have the Sturm Pioneers for. They are really good at chatting those squad wipes on retreat. Vet 3 as well, keeping it alive, but it barely survives. Meanwhile, the RD is still firing and almost wipes the infantry support gun, despite it being aimed over here. Yeah. A lot of scatter on that railway strike, or the howitzer strike.
Yeah, so really nice though. Big munitions investment, but really hard hitting, as you can see there. Just massive shells falling from the sky.
Yeah, indeed. Other than that though, Lieutenant isn't actually in cover. Generally, this engagement would favour the Lieutenant or the Rifles with the bar, because Sturm Pioneers, they're okay at medium. They're better than Peagrins at medium, but like generally the Rifleman will win at medium range. Sturm Pioneers are generally only good at close, but in that case he wasn't actually in cover, and I think the squad was weaker, and I also had the Vet 2 in Sturm Pioneers, so that's generally the dynamic that there is Riflemen are medium range, whereas Sturm Pioneers are close range, Volksgrenadiers are long range. Riflemen still, though, generally beat Volksgrenadiers because Volksgrenadiers are a lot cheaper. Riflemen are fairly more expensive, but that's sort of the dynamic, because Riflemen want to be at medium range, even with the bars. So, yeah.
So you really seem to force back the map now, which is nice, managing to keep your battle group headquarters alive thus far, and despite the early aggression, really nice map control thus far. I have all 3 of the VP, so really starting to come back into this game aggression-wise.
Yeah, indeed, especially with the double AT guns that I did manage to capture.
Nice.
It's going to really limit the vehicle play that we do see coming out. That's actually a mine as well. Yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Only got the 1 rear echelon. They're very similar to the Soviet mines. I think they have a bit less anti-infantry damage, but it really is the utility of having the damage engine critical applied to vehicles, which again is something that OberKommandoWest are a little bit lacking in. They don't quite have as many vehicle disables as you would see generally. Sturm Pioneers up close, very powerful. The Riflemen worth focusing the Volks. Sturm Pioneers having an excellent engagement. Yeah, really, that's where they want to be at. Unfortunately, there were no nades either. I mean, the nades give a lot of extra potential for Riflemen, because they're pretty good nades, especially because of how close the Sturm Pioneers are. It can be hard to dodge them.
Okay, so do we have any armor coming out here from BreakingBrad? It's going for at the moment.
Well, he's got his...
Ooh, Bulldozer Shem?
Yeah. So that's a commander-specific call-in on his armored company. It's a howitzer on a Sherman, sort of, but it fires a really big HE shell. It's really effective against infantry and emplacements. Doesn't have very good anti-tank damage, but it is able to do some pretty consistent and effective damage. Got to be careful of the AT gun though, but even the Bulldozer can wipe it if it gets within range. Volksgrenadiers on the flank, not exactly the best flankers reserved for the Sturm Pioneers, but yeah, you can see the Sherman doing some pretty good damage. Also has a bit more utility as well. It can actually destroy barricades and create some. But at this stage, there's just a lot more units on the field for myself than there is for BreakingBrad.
Yeah, a lot of it's about unit preservation here, and it seems to be pretty good thus far. Have all your upgrades. They've got a lot of veterans here as well. They're onto the squads. We've actually got a vet for what's that? Vet for Volksgren squad there. So showing the 5 lots of veterans here that the OberKommandoWest actually get.
They get 5 vet. It's pretty cool. Some of the vet, they unlock abilities of vet 2 or vet 3. It's not always like vet 1 ability, vet 2 to 5 extra damage and health and stuff. It's a bit different, it varies. But anyway, at this moment I was actually going for my Jagdtiger. I could have gone for a Puma, but the Puma wouldn't always win against the Bulldozer Sherman. It would have been the more safer option, especially because I had a fair bit of grace because of the AT guns. I didn't need the Puma urgently. If I didn't have the AT guns, I would have gone for the Puma. Pumas are pretty good against tanks, but they don't penetrate very consistently at long range against the Shermans. But anyway, that was a quick little look at OberKommandoWest versus the US Forces, the 2 new factions coming out for the Western Front Armies that will be hitting us all on the 24th of June. We're pretty keen. I've played a lot of the Alpha, and it's pretty exciting. The matchups are really fun. They're very unique factions. I think the main thing that I really enjoy, especially OberKommandoWest, more so than USA, but even then, there's a lot more different play styles that you can do. Because you can see in my case that my play style was pretty much all about the breakthrough tactics.
Yeah.
You know, getting the munitions conversion and to synergize that well with the Panzer Fusiliers, especially with the Sturm Officer, because he gives a damage or he has little abilities that cost munitions. So munitions heavy play is actually a really nice play style on the breakthrough tactics, where a lot of other players like to rush out their Obersoldaten or like to go Fallschirmjäger heavy play. There really is a lot of different play styles, and the teching's very flexible as well. You can go for either of these trucks in either order, and there's a lot of different variation in units and strategies.
Which is, yeah, very, very cool. So we're really are looking forward to it. We've got a big LAN party planned for the release date. We've got a lot of hype building for it. I think it should be a lot of fun when it comes out. Indeed.
But until next time, Wheelie Generals, gentlemen, be sure to subscribe to our channel for a lot of Company of Heroes 2 content that we post a lot of, especially with the new factions coming out. We will be doing that. So they are available for pre-order if you would like. Otherwise, you can just buy it the day it comes out and get in on the game. So thanks for watching. Catch you later.
Bye.